What do you have to say about
that? I must say I am pleased to be here today. Like you rightly said, it's an honor to be here. But the match yesterday actually ended 2-0 in favor of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It's a very good one for Real Madrid. You remember they also won the Champions League.
Yeah.
And talking about the number of times they have won the Super Cup, there are other very good teams that have been, that they had played with them in the Super Cup in the previous years.
Yes.
So, of course, it is expected. It's just like in England, the Community Shield. Those who have played, who had won the FA Cup usually win the Community Shield in the long run. So it happens. We've seen a lot of...
Is it a case of not paying much cognizance or importance to the Super Cup? Do you know what it is to be champions of Europe? You understand? Overall champions of Europe.
AJ,
because 13 out of 5.
Yes.
5 out of 13.
Yes.
That's number 8. As in you've played 8 finals and you've lost.
Of course, it's a possibility. Remember that there was a time where it was Real Madrid, and there was also a time where they were not really there. Sometimes they get the Champions League, just like this season. Getting the Champions League was just like, a lot of people will say it was just a mere luck. On the day, there were a lot of teams that played much more better than them, just like the Chelsea game, including the Manchester City game. There were teams that were extremely very good, but in the long run, they were able. Luck was on their side.
I don't call that luck. So that's not what we're talking about. I will see that because you guys are masters in the act of Champions League. So that master, will I say, feeling, you understand?
Yes.
That experience
actually made them not to win.
So when you now come to this one, you begin to wonder, Real Madrid, 13 champions, Champions League, and 5. And in fact, they just made it 5 because teams like AC Milan and Barcelona. Barcelona has won Champions League 5 times, and they've been Super Cup winners 5 times. So that is it. But sometimes, and again, coming to talk about Real Madrid, Barcelona are busy making signings, and Real Madrid seems to just feel stabilized. Don't you think that team is a bit on the aging side?
No.
Luka Modric, 37, Benzema, the captain for this season, 34, will be 35 by December. Casemiro and the rest of it. Don't you think they need influx of, let's say, young blood in order to bolster their chance of retaining the Champions League and the La Liga?
AJ, I think they have a lot of young players there. Casemiro is still a young player, At his age, he's still very young. He's given his best. Now, not just him. Look at Vinicius Junior. He's a very young player. There are a lot of young players in the Madrid team. Now, they are also bringing in. Remember, they just signed the Chelsea...
Rudiger. How old is Rudiger?
Of course, Rudiger is in his late 20s. He's in late 20s and he is still performing. There are a couple of other French players they have in their... that were promoted from their reserve team. And talking about what you talked about, them not winning, out of the 40, not winning more of the Super Cup, out of the 46 Super Cup that has been played, those who won the Champions League won 26 of it. Just 26. So you see that the rest of about 20 were won by those other clubs who won the Europa League. So it has always been like that. Those who won Europa League have the opportunity to win, because sometimes they are seen as the minnows. So they try to prove something. Look at the game yesterday. It was not an easy one for Madrid. It was just that the defenders for Frankfurt were just bad in the day, that considered. Look at the first goal, that resulted to Alaba scoring. And also the one for Benzema, they gave him a free space. Yes, the whole space. When Vicinic gave him the ball, he had the whole space and he had to wipe it in,
Wow. Well, congrats to the European champions, Real Madrid, the Galacticos, for that successful victory. Next on our storyline, we're going to be taking on Serena Williams. I call her the goddess of tennis. That's what I've dubbed her to be, the goddess of tennis. And the young ladies announced sometime this week, that she was considering, in fact, the right word is that she's evolving towards concentrating more on other aspects of life other than tennis. But I begin to wonder, for something that you've been doing for 25, 26 years, what other thing would you want to venture into at this time, at the peak of your career? Do you see Serena Williams, winding down her career anytime soon, or will it be after the US Open, if she manages to get even a wild card slot to participate in that?
Yeah, Serena Williams is a fantastic woman.
No doubt.
She has won 23 Grand Slam titles. So it's not just a Vince. You know, she is just behind one person who has 24. So, and she actually said that the reason why she is considering retiring is because she wants to have another baby. She's 41 this month. You know, being 41, she has seen it all. She started at 17. So she has been there for 20-something years.
Yes, wow.
You know, she has been there, and she has a baby who is about 5 years now, and she needs another baby. And she also said she wants to give the opportunity for the younger ones who are now taking over. Now she is 16th in the ranking. So you can see there are a lot of other people who are doing absolutely well. And, you know, when the ovation is it's getting down, you need to actually...
You need to vacate the scene.
Yes, you need to vacate the seat.
So, well, I really commend Serena. She's been, well, an inspiration to youngsters delving into the sport of, you understand?
Especially
tennis.
women.
Especially women. You know, she's been a very, very great, mentor and an icon. And apart from the 23 Grand Slams she's won, she has won 73 tennis major events, you understand? And her career has spanned well over 2 decades. I will very wish her the very best in all her endeavor. And yet, next to our next story. But before that, well, the line you can call to be interactive in this thing that we are doing is right there on your screen, 090-23273484. You can call us and then let us have a chit chat. And what is your opinion on issues discussed so far? We definitely want to hear from you and definitely have you participate in what we are talking about. And yeah, there's the big one when we talk about Africa. You know, our next story is talking about Africa Super League. Patrice Motsepe is bringing $100 million on the table for African champions to jostle and win. You understand? And somebody is saying, are you sure this is going to be accepted globally? As in, when I mean global, I mean in the African context, you understand? Is this not going to be some teams, you understand? The Arabian teams, you know, the teams from the North Africa, because they seem to be doing extremely well. You understand? When it has to do with club football in Africa. So this 100 million CAF president is suggesting, or rather clamoring to bring on board. In your own opinion, is it going to bring about the best in African football, as in to slow down this surge of we moving from this part of the climb to the Europe and then maybe Asia and everything like that? What's your take on that?
AJ, you recall we first last year heard about the European the UEFA Super League.
Yes.
You know, and the method they wanted to use in doing that didn't go well with a lot of other clubs, especially wanting some major clubs to always come there season after season. But what people later suggested to them was try to make sure that every other team has an opportunity, you know, to participate in it. So there were a lot of, you know, hopsy-turvy. It had to go the way it went. And Africa, with the help of Motsepe, has decided to, you know, steal a little from what
the Europeans
wanted to do. And now they are saying that 24 teams will be participating. 24 teams, and they are starting with $100 million. And every team that is going to participate will be having $2.5 million.
Wow.
For you to participate, you'll be having $2.5 million. And whoever wins will be getting about $17-something million. So participating alone will help. Will earn you something reasonable. Clubs, after the COVID-19, clubs are complaining about not having enough funds for to buy players. They spend their money in signing players, in transportation, in logistics, you know. But having that kind of money, $2.something million, will go a long way to help them offset a lot of bills. So it is a welcome development. And it is going to be a good thing that Africa will, for the first time, begin such a thing. Then the Europeans could begin to learn subsequently.
Well, $2.5 million per team.
Yes.
Well, that's a welcome. Well, let us get to hear what our caller here has to say. Hello, good morning. Welcome to today's Sport on ABS. Who are we on to? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing? Hello? we lost that.
Yeah, we
2.5 million is definitely good. Imagine
Yes.
a team like Wiki Tourist going to participate in CAF Championship, and you have a largesse of 2.5 million.
$5 million.
That
it goes a long way
it
for
goes
you.
a long way. But on the other part of it, don't you think that it will now maybe empower more clubs, because they are perennial Champions League football teams in Africa?
Yes.
Perennial. Every year they are going there. 10 out of 10, you will see them there.
Yes.
Don't you think that it will somehow empower certain teams,
Yeah.
and to the detriment of...
No, not really. From what they want to do, it's not. They are not going to give the opportunity specifically for those who the qualification.
Let's get to.
We have a call.
Yeah.
A caller.
Hello, welcome to ABS Sports Today. Hello. I think we're having some network issue.
Yeah, can you be audible, please? I think we lost that
Please
one.
keep trying. Definitely you'll get lucky, and then your call will definitely get through. We really want to hear from you, and whatever contribution you have to bring on board, please keep trying. So like I was saying,
Yes.
Don't you think it would be somehow disadvantageous to some certain teams that might not even? Because Champions League is by league qualification. If that money were to be going to FAs, in my own opinion, if that money were to be going to FAs rather than to club sides, in order to boost and make the league more competitive.
I don't agree with you with FAs, because we've heard about embezzlement, mismanagement of funds by a lot of FAs. I think
because
the club.
that kind of money would trickle down from the top down to the bottom.
I don't really agree with going to FA. The clubs are the ones. They are the ones footing the bills, running the risk, doing everything.
Yeah.
So when they participate, they deserve to get their, what is due for them. So I think for me, it will spur the clubs.
Yeah.
It will spur them. It will help them to work harder. It will help them to work harder so that you will qualify, knowing that you're not just qualifying for the CAF Champions League, you're not just qualifying for the CAF Confederation Cup. There is also a Super League for you to qualify. So if you don't get this, you can get this, you can get this.
Okay, they are all independent.
Yes.
Okay.
And when that happens, we will also have the opportunity. When that happens, these clubs will, it will create competition amongst them. To create competition.
Well, the competition that I really want to see is where African teams, you understand, African club sides playing in African leagues get strong. Strong enough.
This is, of course, when there is fund.
Strong enough that the World Cup, an African team winning the World Cup will be in the nearest future.
Of course, that is going to happen. We believe that is going to happen.
When the bulk of African teams, you understand, going for the World Cup are playing in their local league, you have certain form of stability.
Yes.
This issue of your club side not wanting to release you to come and play and everything like that, we will minimize a little bit. You understand?
Yes. We've seen that happen with the Egyptian national team winning the Nations Cup.
Of course,
yes,
several
they have
times.
done
Because,
that, yes.
Several times, because most of their players
play in their local league.
In their local league. So that will help a whole lot. We still have a little time. Let's delve into, part of what this issue, Motsepe was saying that, he said in his own quote that there is time where African players, you understand, will begin to earn packages.
Yes.
As in equivalent
to what is happening in the Europe. That's what we want to see.
Do you think
that's what we want to see?
That is possible?
It's very possible.
How can that be possible?
It's very possible. Did we ever envisage that we were going to have 100 billion pounds of the Super League? Nobody saw that coming. $100 billion for the Super League. We never envisaged it was going. And this is specifically coming from TV rights. Now, when that begins, we will definitely see other people, that will want to partner, that want to join. So it's a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic thing. We want to see a lot of our players coming here. A lot of our players that play in Europe coming to play in Africa. Look at what the owner of Napoli said the other time.
Oh wow!
That was
off it. We weren't expecting that from somebody. If you claim to love football so much, you understand that football is played across the entire globe.
Of course.
Well, at this junction, we'll pause and come back after this short break. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Oka or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS Channel 29.
Watch ABS TV on your smart TV or smartphone by downloading Anambra Broadcasting Service app on Google Play Store. Also watch via ABS Facebook page at ABS Radio Television and ABS YouTube page at ABS Television Oka.
ABS TV is now also on satellite. You can watch us from anywhere in Nigeria and other African countries. Simply install our TV decoder brand and tune to channel 315 or install any free-to-air satellite decoder and search for ABS TV.
Whichever option you choose, stay abreast of breaking news, documentaries, children's shows, talk shows, comedy, sports, movies, and lots more on your darling TV station.
For adverts and program sponsorship, contact 0803 388 8526 or 0806 883 9902. ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
Welcome back to ABS Sports Today. Next on our story is Team Nigeria arrival in Nigeria to be hosted by the President, Buhari. Buhari is definitely going to be hosting the contingent that went to the Commonwealth and did Nigeria proud. In your own estimation, what do you think that banquet, the dinner with the presidents, if you were part of the team there and you were given an opportunity to speak, what would you likely want to tell the president?
Of course, these ladies, a lot of them are ladies, yes, that want something, but the athletes generally.
The athletes.
Yes,
generally.
the athletes, they really did Nigeria proud. They really did us proud. For the first time, in the Commonwealth Games, we were 7th and number 1 in Africa. I can't remember the last time we went ahead of South Africa.
I'm telling you.
You know, for the first time, we won 35 medals. 35 for the first time. We had 12 gold medals, we had 9 silver and 14 bronze. Now we had 5 records. We had 4 in the game and 1 world record. You know, so it has never been this good. Now, for me, I think that these athletes have made Nigeria proud, and Nigeria deserve to honor them. They deserve to be honored. I don't know what they will be given them, what Nigerian president and the sport ministry will do for them, but it should go beyond banquet. It should be beyond whining and dining. I would be expecting to hear them getting some properties. Yes, just like those who made us proud in 1994. But it was unfortunate that they just got their what they were promised just a few years ago. We don't want to see a repetition of that kind of thing again. We want the government to, give them something that is tangible, because these same people are going to, this same team that we have are still going to do something much more better.
Because of ages, right?
Ages, yes.
They've not even reached their prime.
Honestly.
They've not reached their prime.
They have not. And remember, some of them were disqualified because of, in the last championship, I think 2 years ago, because of kids sponsorship and not wearing the proper kits and the rest of them. And with that anger, they came this time and delivered and made Nigeria very proud. So I would want to see the government also making them proud.
Exactly. Yes. Now, making them proud will equally inspire young generation, youth out there.
Yes.
This is a nation that is teeming with youth. You understand? When you see what the government will do for people that have excelled in their various fields of endeavor, definitely it will spur you on.
Of course.
So, in my own opinion, I think that what the Nigerian Sports Ministry and the President, you understand, need to do is not just giving these ladies, the athletes, so to say, what is due to them, but extend it to to motivate others into venturing into sport. Because sport is the largest employer of labor in the world.
Honestly, in the world.
The largest employer of labor. So if you get it right by setting the necessary, training regime, giving them what it takes, you understand, to excel. This is more like coming, in my own opinion, by way there, I'll say, Your Excellency, this is all what we need.
Yes.
Facilities.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
When we are going for tournaments like this, we will definitely write to the ministry and tell the ministry, in so time, we'll be going for this tournament. Please, can you make funds available for us?
Yes, for them.
To enable us train and everything like that. You understand? Without much training, these girls were able to achieve this.
Yes.
If we have the plans in place for them to excel, these girls will be breaking records.
We've just been talking about girls. There are a lot of male athletes, but actually most of them were the ladies.
The commentator said it has never happened before where a contingent will all be one gender based. You understand? Winning the gold medal.
Yes, the gold medals. We had the 12 gold medals were almost the ladies.
Yeah. This would be a sport to the men out there. So, guys, you guys need to burn that energy so that you can outdo our ladies. You understand?
Yes.
Well, kudos to them. We always, if I were in Lagos when they arrived, I would have been there waving the Nigerian flag to welcome them because this girl.
Yeah, it is actually a time to be proud of being in Nigeria. Yes,
I'm telling you, success has many daughters, many sons, and many parents, as the case may be. Yeah, next to our next on our line of stories, telling you this morning about sports happenings all around the world. We'll be bringing a funny one here. Yeah, and this one makes me feel, Africa. When you hear things like this, you begin to wonder, Africa. Why is it only in Africa can things like this happen? A club in Sierra Leone named Gulf FC beat rivals Kokima 91-1.
Yes.
That isn't just the only scenario or the only story behind that. Rangers, another club in the same Sierra Leone, trashed Lumbebu United 95-0. I know you know a little bit about mathematics.
Yeah.
Football is a game of 90 minutes.
Yes.
Take it or leave it. 45 minutes in each half.
Yeah.
Please, how do you juxtapose 91-1, that is 92 goals, in a duration of 90 minutes? Could it be that please walk the match.
AJ, we've never heard this before. Apart from the stories we heard when we were growing up about India playing Nigeria 91 and so on.
This is crazy.
We've never had such a thing before.
This is crazy.
For the two clubs you mentioned to have scored 186 goals for 90 minutes each. I mean, for 120 minutes. Yes, I don't see how that. I can't really fathom how that happened. And to think of that. For the Gulf FC game, the first half was 7-1. So for 45 minutes, you scored 80-something goals. I don't understand. So you scored more than 2 goals in 1 minute. More than 2 goals in 1 minute.
Was that game played behind us?
Honestly, but
were there spectators in that match?
Honestly, but it's good that the Sierra Leonean FA has
they say they are investigating.
Yes.
But even at that, even with the investigation ongoing, they said these teams might likely qualify pending. So does it mean that when the investigation is ongoing and then the qualification for which they needed this amount of goals, you now get somebody qualified for a tournament based on the number of goals scored, and then the investigation doesn't now turn out well. We do not pull the person out and say, sorry guys, you're not going anywhere, it should be this. I really don't understand. Shouldn't this game be said, please can you guys replay this match just for equity?
Well, I'm telling them to replay the match. Of course, you need to make provisions for the logistics. You don't. It's not just. But I think the FA should have had a representative in the game. That's in a normal setting. They should have representative from the Sierra Leonean FA for that match. So we were expected to see their reports. The referee also should have come from there.
Yeah, that is why they said part of the teams. You understand? Part of the FA said the 4 teams involved in this game are under suspension. You
for
understand?
now, yes.
But they said that the suspension could be lifted. Pending the investigation.
Of course, if the investigation was done and it happened that the goals were
legit goals,
so what do you expect? But it's a very funny one because
it is crazy.
It's really a very funny one.
This shouldn't even smile close to the Guinness Book of Records for the highest goal scored because it's still under investigation, and we'll still talk about that. And quickly, next, Barcelona, the almighty Barcelona. Barcelona signing players and yet to register any, and La Liga is beginning tomorrow. What's this financial issue of Barcelona with the outgoing Messi and the rest of it all and the COVID-19 and Barcelona seems to be in a quagmire of financial crisis. Are they going to be out of this anytime soon? What happens when the league starts and you don't get your players registered? Automatically, that means they can't play for you.
Of course, they will not play. They will be free. They will be free agents. You know, they can easily sign for any other club. But the good thing is that they are making serious preparations. We're hearing about De Jong, Aubameyang going to Chelsea. So probably before the Saturday, which is when they will play their first match, they will be able to register all the players that they need. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Well, this is the much time can permit us to, so that thanks for those that try to reach out on phone calls, but if you're not successful today, next week, you'll definitely be successful. And next week, we'll bring you a fresh packaged edition of Sports Today on Thursday. Thank you so much for being part of this. And Uzoma, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, AJ, for having me.
Yes,
thank you so
and
much.
that is why we call it a quit. And I said, keep sporty and always make sure that sports is the breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you do for keeping yourself fit at all times. Thank you, and bye for now.